Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. It's the 4th of April 2022, and there's plenty of news in the environment, easy pickings, and some of them are on CRISPR, and the others are on stock market in general. And we have a blockbuster news, 3D printed sperm. This was done in Canada. So I'll cover all these things, and as always, our video is going to be of 3 parts. News, macroeconomics, and the first part. Second part is going to be technical analysis of Nasdaq and VIX. And the third part is going to be technical analysis of all the genomic shares in our watch list with an idea of trying to find price trends and where it's likely to move today. So let's get started. Let's start with the most exciting news first. Of course, this is not done with CRISPR to the best of my knowledge, but still it's a great development. 3D printed sperm, this happened in British Columbia, in Canada. And I'm just going to play a clip for you which explains the whole story, and I'll talk a little bit at the end of the clip.
Inside this Vancouver lab, the printers aren't for paper. Instead, they're being used in hopes of producing something unexpected. Sperm.
We wanted to really replicate what we see within the natural human body and try to create these tubules that are about the same size as what we see in the actual testicle. So that gives us a pretty good buffer in terms of...
In a world first, Dr. Ryan Flanagan and his team at the University of British Columbia 3D printed viable testicular cells. Using stem cells they obtained from a testicular biopsy from a 31-year-old patient with non-obstructive azoospermia, or NOA, where no sperm is found in the ejaculate, the team cultured the cells. When those continued to show a positive viability rate, they were 3D printed onto a petri dish into a hollow tube-like structure resembling the sperm-producing tubules found inside the testicles. 12 days later, the cells had not only survived, but thrived.
We got partway to creating a full sperm, so we arrived at a middle stage of that sperm production process.
For men diagnosed with NOA, the current option is surgery, which can be invasive and ineffective. Global experts say this study is a game changer.
When you take that hope away from patients where they can't have kids and tell them that there is no option, and then you bring forward an option such as what Dr. Flanagan is proposing, that could make a huge difference in the world of infertility.
Flanagan is motivated by the patients he hasn't been able to help. He says his team will now try to coach the printed cells to produce sperm, facilitating cell-to-cell interaction.
This is really the starting point for our research.
With the end goal of giving more men the opportunity to become biological fathers. Jamie Morocker, Global News, Toronto.
The second news I have for you is about Twitter. So Twitter shares have gone up 26.1% almost before the market opened. And right now also they are pretty high. And this is all because Elon Musk has taken a 9.2% passive stake in Twitter. And that has pushed the price up. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. This will also have implications for Donald Trump's venture. I think the ticker is called DWAC, Truth Social. So it has already been struggling a lot. And with the brand recognition and reputation of Elon Musk getting involved with Twitter, I think Twitter is going to face another resurgence, and probably it's going to be difficult for DWAC to break through in this crowded field, especially with Twitter getting much more energy and push and shine because of the involvement of Elon Musk. So that's about Twitter. Now, talking about Tesla. Tesla also delivered over 310,000 vehicles during the first quarter, a record for the electric vehicle market, but it was below Wall Street consensus. Still, it's a superlative performance because there was a lot of problems during the last quarter, and companies like GM have produced far less, and even Toyota has done much less as compared to Tesla. And all the other automobile companies have also been talking about chip shortages and supply chain bottlenecks causing problems for them. Same problem was there for Tesla, but still Tesla has delivered superlative numbers. And I think that today we'll see Tesla shares pick up even more value. So that's a part of the stock market that I'm happy about in my portfolio. And that kind of brings me to the point about Novartis. Novartis announced a reorganization of its business units in a move to save at least $1 billion annually by 2024. The new structure will integrate the drug makers' pharmaceuticals and oncology business. So when you talk about saving $1 billion annually by 2024, given that we are in the first quarter of 2022, so you can imagine the market expects a lot of gains this year itself, and therefore pre-market Novartis shares are trading high. And I think that will set the tone for many pharma companies and biotech companies this morning, along with the positive futures that we are seeing. I'll talk about that when we go to our Nasdaq section. So that brings me to an end of my news segment. There is no pure CRISPR news today with me, but we'll find out soon enough. I'm sure a lot of things are happening in the CRISPR sector. It's just that the news media and the financial media has been busy with more shiny objects elsewhere, and we'll turn our attention to that, and I'll bring the news to you. So let's get started with our Nasdaq and VIX and other indicators review. So today we start our analysis with futures instead of US oil. The futures, Nasdaq futures, are showing a positive bias of around 27 basis point, and it has been fluctuating between 19 and 30, 0.19 and 0.30% since morning. So there is a slight positive bias in the market if we look at the futures. And then if we go to the indicators and look at US oil, we can see that the US oil has gone up around 3.12%. Which is not a good thing for the market, because we know the cause-effect relationship. It's like a domino. US oil goes up, VIX goes up, and that pushes Nasdaq down. And when Nasdaq is down, our biotech shares and genomic shares suffer. So that's the chain that we have established so far. So the US oil is kind of dictating a different story. If we go deeper into the US oil chart, you can see we have this diagonal support line which has been with us all the way from 2nd of December 2021. Then it's a pretty strong line which has held very well for oil, but we are below that line, and right now it is the 50-day exponential moving average which is giving the support. We are already below the diagonal green line. So if you look at MACD, it's absolutely bearish, but it's trending towards the signal line, and momentum is below average but trying to go above average. This combination in most stocks I find is the precursor to it moving up. But today, despite oil going up, I think there will still be a positive bias in the Nasdaq because of the news we had about Twitter and also Tesla deliveries, which have been superlative. So those two news items are likely to push things in the positive direction for us today. And we still have QQQ, which needs to consolidate because the movement upward was steep. So earlier we were in a steep upward channel like this, and now we have come to this level, and I'm thinking that we need to be somewhere around 45. So it's possible that today we might move in a narrow range and consolidate sideways, which could be either positive or flat. That is my prediction at the end of the day for Nasdaq, because I want a much more healthy bull channel. And that's what I would hope for. However, given the Twitter news and all, there's a good chance that Nasdaq is going to end positive today, decently positive, not just marginally. So that's where I think it's going to go. If we look at the MACD, it is bullish but pointed towards the signal line, and this is how we left it yesterday. And if we look at the momentum, yesterday we had a momentum which was pointing downwards, but today we can find that because of the pre-market activities, there's a good chance that the momentum is going to flatten out and potentially move upwards. And since the momentum is above average, I'm thinking Nasdaq is going to continue positive trend this morning. So that's my prediction out here. Now let's go and have a look at our crypto sector. In the crypto sector, Bitcoin has been loosely correlated to Nasdaq and generally moves in the same direction. And if you look at what had happened on 1st of April, we have a green candle which dipped all the way down and bounced off the 100-day exponential moving average, which is this white line out here. And then it bounced back sharply and it has been above our support line of 45,511.2. But I think that there is potential in Bitcoin to turn positive today in tandem with Nasdaq. So our MACD is bullish, but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is above average but flat. So I'm going to stick my neck out here and say that today we are going to have a positive Nasdaq and also going to see positive gains in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin typically drops during the weekend and picks up in the beginning of the week. So we will probably see Bitcoin end the week somewhere around $48,000 or $49,000. But for today, I'm predicting positive gains for Bitcoin. I may be wrong, but that's where I think it is headed based on all the circumstantial evidence and my personal opinion. So now let us look at gold. Gold is something that has been moving in the opposite direction to Nasdaq, and gold today is up 0.31 marginally. So this is also tentative out here. MACD is bearish, and it's tending towards the signal line. Momentum is just about average. So everywhere we are just waiting for the market open to happen, and then we'll get an idea where it goes. My guess is that it's going to be positive today because there are positive catalysts. Or one thing that is likely to cause upset in the overall positivity is the Russia-Ukraine conflict. If things get bad, if Russia-Ukraine crisis goes out of control, EU is already trying to impose sanctions. And if things deteriorate on that front and we don't find some kind of a resolution, it's going to put a strain on the global economy, and it's also going to have a negative impact on Nasdaq. The market is open now, and Nasdaq has bounced up 2.94 basis points, that is 0.80%, and the VIX has dropped a little bit, and US oil is at 3.93% gain. The momentum is picking up for US oil. That's not a good sign. Let's go off to our biotech shares out here. PSEB is at the top, and it's gained 5.49% today. MACD is bullish and momentum is below average but picking up. So that's a positive for PSEB. And as I mentioned earlier, we have positive news in the biotech sector. And things are going to look better today. I think we're going to have overall a positive day for the genomic shares, unless we have something negative from the Russia-Ukraine front. DNA is up 4.05%. And if we look at the MACD, it is bullish, but moving towards the signal line. Momentum is above average and pointed upwards. That's a really great combination. MACD will also pick up, I predict. And we have the support from the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average. And our next resistance is the 50-day exponential moving average, which is currently sitting at $4.72. So overall, a positive day today for DNA. Teladoc is up 3.9%. MACD is bullish and moving away from the signal line. Momentum is above average and picking up, and there's plenty of room for RSI before it becomes overbought. And we have support from the 50-day, 9-day, and the 20-day exponential moving average. With the 50-day exponential moving average preparing to move under the 9-day exponential moving average, further solidifying a bullish bias. So if we zoom out a little bit for Teladoc shares, and if I was to draw a channel out here as a trend line collecting the higher highs and making a channel out of it, we can see that we have just about come out of this bear channel out here, and we need to build up on this. And for that, we need a few more days of positives. And then I could start drawing a new trend line from below here. For example, it would look something like this. I would probably have a new trend line which goes this way, and we can use that as our next bullish channel upward. So that's what I'm aiming for. Let us wait and see what happens. Editas is up 3.31% right now, and our MACD is bullish and moving away from the signal line. And just for your information, all the candles out here are one-day candles, and these are long-term charts. And for Editas, I'm just going to zoom in further so that the candles look bigger, and we can see the MACD and the RSI clearly. So the MACD is clearly moving away from the signal line. That is the first positive sign. The second positive sign is we have above average momentum and moving upwards, and plenty of room for RSI to pick up. That's also a good sign. And today we have opened positive and we have gone up further, that's again a very positive sign. So yesterday, for example, we closed at around 20.25. Today we have opened at around 20.34 and continued moving upward. And at a point of time, we had briefly touched around 21.01. It's looking good for Editas today. And if we were to zoom out, and again, if we were to draw a channel out here, a trend line connecting the higher highs, then we have a bearish channel out here, and we have broken out of it, and we are forming a bullish channel. But this bullish channel needs to have some more highs coming up. So we'll wait for another few days and then draw a trend line around it and start marking a bullish channel. So it's all looking good for Editas. CRISPR is up 3.36%, and we are firmly within our bullish channel that we have drawn out here, this diagonal green line. And our candle today is well above the resistance of 66.36 that we had as of yesterday. So I'm going to mark that into a green. And we opened higher, and we have continued to move upward. Our next resistance is the 100-day exponential moving average. MACD is moving away from the signal line, which is good. Momentum is above average and picking up. So that's also very good. So overall, CRISPR Therapeutics is in the right direction. Bluebird is up 3.43%. And if you were to look at the MACD, it's moving away from the signal line. That's the first positive thing. The second positive thing is that the momentum is picking up. However, it is still below average. We want to see it go above average. And we have support from the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average, which we had lost at the end of last week. So this week we opened above where we closed last week. And we have overcome the resistance from the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average. This is also good. So overall, we are going to end up positive for Bluebird today. Caribou Biosciences is up 3.58%. The MACD is bullish and moving away from the signal line. Momentum is picking up, and it's just at average and pointed upwards. So that's also a good sign. We have opened significantly higher than where we ended the day on Friday. And we have regained the support of the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average. So that's all good signs. Our next resistance is at 10.04, and we are currently at 9.55. So I'm predicting that Caribou Biosciences will end the day positive with a gain of around 50 cents or something in that region. Allogene is up 2.65%. MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. Momentum is above average and picking up. So overall, it's looking great for Allogene. And I'm thinking that the MACD is also going to start moving away from the signal line if this strength in the momentum continues. And we have now got the support from the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average. And we have also opened much higher than where we closed on Friday. So that's also another good sign. Our next resistance is 9.93. So I'm thinking that we are going to end the day at around 30 cents gain for Allogene. ARCG is up 1.44%, and we are still within our bearish channel. So I cannot draw a similar case here for ARCG as I had done for a few other stocks before, where we had a clear bullish channel coming up, like in case of CRISPR. However, the MACD is bullish and moving away from the signal line. Momentum is above average and pointing upwards. So all these things are positive signs in my books. And therefore, we are likely to break through this resistance of 48.82 today. We are at 48.78. I'm thinking that we are going to end the day by converting 48.82 into a support. So let's move on to Verve. Verve is up 0.49%. Unfortunately for us, we broke below the bullish line that we were developing. So we are going to continue to be in this bearish channel. So the bearish channel is bounded on the top by this resistance out here. I'm going to mark this as a red colored line so that it can be shown as a resistance. So that's our next resistance. We also have resistance from the 20-day exponential moving average. MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. That's a bearish sign, not good. And momentum is below average and flat, so that's also not good. So Verve is likely to lose some of the gains here and probably end up the day flat. Beam is up 0.78%. Again, we are looking for sustaining ourselves above this diagonal red line here, which has been a resistance for the long time. But the positive for us today is that we opened way above where we closed yesterday. And also we opened above this diagonal red line, which has been a resistance for us all the way from 1st of July 2021. So it's a very strong resistance to cross. And we have done that. So that encourages me. However, we are still below the 20-day exponential moving average. We have support from the 9-day exponential moving average, and now this diagonal line, which I'm going to mark as green, is also going to be a joint support along with the 9-day. So it's a very strong support. MACD is bullish and moving away from the signal line, and momentum is below average and slightly flat. So that's the momentum is the only thing I'm worried about. But if the overall market tone is positive, I'm expecting us to stay above the diagonal green line and convert that into a support. And probably tomorrow we can try to take a crack at the 20-day exponential moving average and convert that into a support. So overall for Beam, we are looking positive today. And now next, let's look at Illumina, which is up 1.23%. And we have converted our resistance of 362.49 into a support. That's a good thing. And we are continuing to move upwards. We have all the exponential moving averages lined the right way for becoming a bullish channel. MACD is moving away from the signal line, and we have plenty of momentum and space in the RSI before it becomes overbought. So Illumina is going to gain further, probably end the day with a gain of around $5.25. IBB is up 0.72%, and we have gone above the diagonal bearish line that we had before, and it's now a support, and we opened above where we closed yesterday, so that's also a positive. MACD is bullish and moving away from the signal line. Momentum is also above average, but even though it's pointed upwards, it's slightly flat. That's what I'm concerned about, but we're going to end the day positive for IBB in my opinion. So IBB is a new addition to our watch list out here. I put this here because it can kind of serve as a barometer for the generic genomic shares. So when I look at the trend in IBB, I'm starting to see a slight bullish sign out here, and I want to see whether it develops. So this is a kind of validation for us whenever we look at a bullish sign in some of the genomic shares. So today, looking at what's happening with IBB, I think that there's an overall positive bias for the genomic shares today. And what we see there is still a bullish candle, and MACD being good. This tends to be a good sign for our genomic shares. Novartis is up 0.44%, and we are still above our support at 87.69, and we still have resistance out here, which happens to be at 88.41, which is the horizontal resistance line. MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. However, I'm encouraged by the fact that momentum is above average and pointed upwards. So I think that Novartis is going to hold its positives today, but it may find it difficult to break above the resistance of 88.41. Vertex is up 0.02%. Again, the good news for Vertex is that we have moved into the next bullish channel in which we were before. So I'm going to convert this red line into a green line of support. And so we have now two trend lines which are supporting us. And also we have got the support from the 9-day exponential moving average. MACD is moving away from the signal line. Momentum is above average, but unfortunately the RSI is showing overbought. So we are going to have some kind of weakness in the pricing, but I am thinking that our new diagonal support of the previous bull channel is going to give us a support there. So Vertex may probably end up the day positive or flat. It's all good for Vertex. Regeneron is up 0.65%. And again, we have got all the bulls trying to push it upwards. We got a bit of a consolidation going on here. In my books, this consolidation is good so that we have a much better slope for the bullish channel. MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. RSI is almost overbought. We might probably see Regeneron ending the day with somewhere around $1 or $2 gain, or maybe flat. So that's what I predict for Regeneron. Intelia is down minus 1.2%. We have lost 83 cents out here. We still have the support from this diagonal line of support for the bearish channel. We still have support from the 9-day and 20-day exponential moving average. The way we opened today below where we were yesterday, where we closed yesterday, is giving a very bearish signal for Intelia. And MACD is bullish but tending towards the signal line. That's not good. Momentum, though above average, is pointed downwards and going to tending towards below average. So overall, Intelia is going to lose further today and probably end the day negative $1 or so. Pfizer is down 1.88%, and unfortunately for us, we have broken down below this bull channel that we were trying to create. So the bull channel doesn't exist anymore, so I'm going to take it away. Our next support is 49.83, and our MACD is turned bearish and moving away from the signal line in a bearish manner. And the The momentum has also fallen below. So overall, I think it's looking bad for Pfizer. But I would say that it's in character because we had been in a bull channel for the longest time and we broke out very strongly upwards. So we are probably going to form some kind of a bullish support line out here. And if I was to draw these two lines connecting the higher lows, then this is the diagonal line of support. So I'm expecting that Pfizer will be within this line of support today. And if we go on to IMTX, we have got IMTX up 0.72%, and it's still got a resistance from the 50-day exponential moving average. But fortunately for us, we opened above today from where we were yesterday, and that's a good sign. 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving averages are in the right sequence and also giving support to us today. And our MACD is bullish, but tending towards the signal line, and momentum is above average and pointed upwards. So based on the momentum, I think that IMTX is going to have a decent day today. So it will end up positive today by the close of market. So that's what I have for you today. And overall, that's what I think the genomic market is looking like with a positive bias. So most shares are likely to end up positive today. And with that, I bring my session to a close. If you like this video, put a like there. It helps me a lot because the video can be shown to other people and they might discover our channel. And also, if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe and let us improve the number and get our community tab. Thanks and have a great